Before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to Arbeen. Arbeen, thank you so much for supporting this channel, as well as everyone else contributing to the channel as well. You can support this channel too. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed to this channel yet. Make sure you give all the videos a thumbs up, and you can also contribute to the Cash App just like Arbeen. The link is below in the description. In today's video, I got a quick update on the famous twins out of Alabama, as well as my thoughts on the 34-year-old father out of Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana, who lost his life after an altercation with his 14-year-old daughter's 17-year-old boyfriend. But first, I want to bring your attention to a father out of Michigan who literally walked through the fire to save his twin daughters. Here's the article here from Fox 2 in Detroit. It says, "Man saves twin girls from house fire, but family loses everything." Ray Lucas said he and his girlfriend had just run to the corner gas station early this past Saturday morning. He says they were only gone for 15 minutes or so. When he got back, the house was on fire. Lucas said, "The house was engulfed in smoke. I saw my mom and my niece were standing at the door and they were frantic. Frantic because, according to Ray, he says they knew that his twin 18-month girls, Milan and Malaysia, were still inside sleeping in the basement." The young father said that he knew he had to get his babies out, and that's all that went through his head. He could not see anything, but he was able to find his babies due to his memory. He knew where they were at in the basement, so he just followed the same route. And luckily, the two girls, they made it out. They spent some time in ICU, all three of them suffering from burns. It's a miracle that Ray can even see because he was temporarily blind for 3 days. Doctors initially thought he lost his sight. Ray said that his niece got out of the house, but then she ran back upstairs inside of the house to grab a phone and then jumped from the window to get back outside. So now they have a GoFundMe up. At the time of this recording, they had raised just under $100,000. The title of the GoFundMe that was set up by a woman named Gwendolyn, it says, "Mom devastated, her twins and dad burned in fire." So the mom they're talking about is Cheyenne Brown. She's the mother of those twin babies. She and Ray Lucas, the father, they're both 23 years old, and the girls are a year and a half, 18 months. You know, when I saw this story, the first thing I thought is, this is why men are needed, ladies. Ray Lucas isn't a high-value man, but he's a man. He worked every day like an average man, and you had his mama and niece both at the house, but neither one of them thought, let's save the babies. In his mom's head, she was thinking, let me save myself, and then I'm gonna wait for a man to come and go save those babies. Luckily, the father got there in time. He walked through the smoke and fire to save those two baby girls. And you guys know what would have happened if no man had been there. And the females here concerned with their phones and themselves if they had to wait on a fire truck. You know, we have a lot of modern women these days. They're lonely with their dogs and cats. The police and firemen can't always save you or get there in time. Women, you need your personal protection there. And that's your man, not the policeman, not the fireman, but your man. He's your first line of defense. Special shout out to Ray Lucas, 23-year-old black man who walked through the fire to save his baby girls. This young heroic father was severely burned while saving these twin babies. He sustained 2nd and 3rd degree burns to his face, eyes, neck, arms, and other parts of his body. In addition to smoke inhalation, their house was completely destroyed. The family lost absolutely everything in the fire. And you have Ray, who is now worried because he can't go back to work due to the extent of his injuries. Now, let's get into the 34-year-old father of Baton Rouge Parish in Louisiana, who lost his life after a confrontation with his 14-year-old daughter's boyfriend. His name was Desmond Hamilton, native of Zachary, Louisiana. He worked as a supervisor at Exxon Lubrication, that's an oil refinery in West Baton Rouge Parish. Shout out to the great people of Louisiana and the men working at those oil plants. Salute to them because that's a very dangerous job. But men like Desmond, they do the necessary work along with the truck drivers that work in that industry as well to help keep the nation moving and civilized. Desmond was dedicated to his family as well as his church and community. He was the owner of the Sweet Corner, established in 2020, and was in the process of opening his first location in his community before his tragic demise. Father of 4, I believe he had 1 son, 3 daughters. His oldest child, the 14-year-old daughter, at the center of this whole story, she had been sneaking her boyfriend in the house on numerous occasions. The family used to live in an apartment complex where the boyfriend would use a ladder to get to the girl's room. And even when the father was able to buy a house in a nice, quiet community away from the Pookies and Ray Rays, his daughter kept communicating with her boyfriend. The father told him not to come to the house, stay away from there, and the teenager did not listen to him. His daughter kept inviting him back as well. Early Sunday morning, July 18th, the father found the boy at the house again. Like before, he used a ladder to get to the 2nd floor to Desmond's daughter's room. Desmond told the boy to come downstairs. At some point, an argument started between the father and his daughter and her boyfriend, and then both the father and the boyfriend pulled out weapons. Both of them hit. Desmond passed away at his own house. The boyfriend was taken to the hospital. He's facing a lot of charges from the situation. And now you have 3 other kids that have to live with the fact that their father is gone because their rebellious older sister wouldn't follow their father's rules. He did not want the boy at his house, which is why he had to sneak around in the first place. Desmond, a hardworking man, stand-up father, trying to protect his children from any harm or from making bad decisions, like his rebellious daughter, and now he is gone. The 14-year-old girl, she had a father. He was there attempting to protect her, but it's a very high chance that her boyfriend, a 17-year-old boy, he did not have a father, which is probably why it was hard for him to listen to this man and follow authority when he was telling him not to come to his house on numerous occasions. You know, Desmond was trying to do the right thing. He wanted to look out for his daughter, but at the same time, he didn't want to get this young boy in trouble. He didn't want to call the police on him. He figured that they were teenagers doing what teenagers do. He just didn't want to end up with a pregnant daughter or anything else happening. Because just 17 years ago, Desmond was 17, the same age that his daughter's boyfriend is now. So he was trying to handle this situation on his own without involving the police. And I see what he was trying to do. Fathers risk their lives every day protecting their rebellious daughters. No different from the stepfather of the famous twins out of Mobile, Alabama. Reported on them a few weeks ago. Check out the video here if you missed it for the full details. I'll leave the link below. But the twerking, rapping TikTok twins were in a dispute involving unemployment money. Sister Sway and Allie. Allie was upset with her sister Sway boyfriend. She was able to get her stepdad to confront him. It ended with the boyfriend offing the stepdad and mistakenly striking their friend Bree, who was also there. Bree's boyfriend got mad and wanted to retaliate, but went to the wrong house. Ended up taking out an innocent elderly man who had nothing to do with this, lived on the other side of town. At the time of the last video, the stepfather and elderly man, we knew that they had passed away already. But their friend Bree was in critical condition at that time. Unfortunately, that woman, their best friend Bree, who was at the house, who was hit mistakenly, she also lost her life as well. So we have 3 people in the grave over these twin shenanigans and 2 men behind bars. But these twins are not being held accountable. In that previous video, I called them out on their ratchet behavior and how they're at the center of all of this. But you have black women like this one right here who believed as a black woman, I shouldn't be saying anything about this. Andrea wrote this to me. She said, no, I don't condone in what they have led to happen, but as a black woman, I will not bash them. They are young and they're going to make mistakes. Sounds like you hating on them. They got to live with what has happened and trust and believe it's not going to be a good feeling and they are being punished enough. It's sad to see someone much older and wiser than them that has already made their mistakes sit there and make a video for clout and likes. A wiser person will point out, not bash, the mistakes they made so other women won't make the same mistakes. Here we have 3 people in the grave and 2 people in prison for the drama created by these twins. And this woman said I was hating. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly am I hating on, by the way. Every time somebody points out the obvious and hold people accountable, the first thing people say is, you're hating. Hating on what? There's no part of this story that I would want to happen in my life. So what is it to hate on? And yeah, people make mistakes in their lives and they should be held accountable. But most people don't go around making mistakes, playing around with weapons, and causing 3 people to lose their lives. This situation was manipulated, and one of the twins, they set this situation up. She said that they're already being held accountable. They're suffering enough. How are they suffering when they're free and they are not locked up and they have not been charged with anything? How are they suffering? Pointing out what they did here, that's the most that's going to happen to them. Because women like this, they're never held accountable. And from the looks of it, because I'm a black woman, according to this lady, I shouldn't be holding them accountable either. And she's talking about mistakes. People even have to deal with the consequences of their mistakes. 5 people's lives gone. But they get to get on social media every day and twerk and rap and talk crazy. They get to move on with their lives. But these 5 people, they won't. And just like Sister Shahrazad Ali said, everyone is able to be held accountable for things except for black women. When you call out black women, it's an issue. Everyone else can be called out though. And it's up to other black women to stand up and do the right thing. And so, you know what? I'm going to continue to do that. Condolences to all of the people involved in these tragedies. Many blessings to the brother out of Michigan, Ray Lucas, 23 years old, and his baby girls. If you want to see more content like this, you can support this channel by hitting up the Cash App. The link is below in the description. Ladies, fellas, you want a balance analysis? You want the truth from a woman's perspective? Make sure you subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.